Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to General Hospital spoilers, the majority of soap opera relationships begin with tension before blossoming into love. Because of this, a lot of fans have expressed disbelief at the back-to-back scenes at the nurses' ball between Sonny Corinthos and Justine Turner, the ADA from Port Charles. On Wednesday, May 21st, the assistant district attorney and the mob leader happened to cross paths and struck up a discussion. Justine quickly made fun of Sonny by saying that while this could be her first nurses' ball, it might be his last after the town referendum because he will undoubtedly leave after he loses his piercings. Sonny made it clear from away that nobody could force him to leave town. In the Thursday, May 22nd episode, Sonny and Anna Devane were discussing the significance of the nurses' ball to them, due to Stone Cates and Robin Scorpio Drake. After Justine made a crude comment about how close Sonny and Anna looked, the mob leader reprimanded her, reminding her that they were discussing the two individuals who were the reason for the nurses' ball, and that she should look up the names of Robin and Stone. Having said that, viewers of GH are aware that Justine doesn't particularly like Anna or Jason Morgan. In fact, she said that when Stone Cold was suspected of being responsible for Cyrus Renault's death, Anna used her job at the PCPD to shield Jason. This is among the reasons Jason and Anna have deliberately avoided one another. Therefore, it isn't shocking that the ADA wouldn't like Sonny. Will Justine, however, be able to see more of Sonny after learning of his relationship with Stone? Will she research both his and Robin's names and discover the reason behind Sonny and Anna's bond? Could this lead to further conflict between ADA and the mob boss? If the soap opera wasn't testing Sonny and Justine's compatibility, then why all the scenes together? Since he recently expelled Natalia Ramirez from his life for pretending to be Jen Sidwell's ex-wife, Sonny is alone and has no chance of finding love again. Furthermore, Carly Spencer's affair with Jack Brennan makes his sporadic relationship with her everything from on again. Fans are reminded by General Hospital spoilers that opposites attract and relationships in Port Charles can be complex. Is the soap opera taking a chance with this kind of plot by dating Sonny and Justine? A mob leader falling in love with an assistant district attorney is about as Romeo and Juliet-ish as it gets. According to General Hospital spoilers, the week of May 26th to 30th will revolve around the fallout from two significant revelations: Giovanni Gio Palmieri's parental secret reveal and Michael Corinthos' return to Port Charles. When Carly Spencer informed Lulu Spencer that she had gotten what she desired on Friday, May 23rd, she expressed it best. Lulu was eager to inform Dante Falconeri about their teenage pregnancy, and how Brooke Lynn Quartermaine Chase had concealed it from him. After learning that Gio was the long-lost son of Dante and Brooke Lynn, Lulu went all out to expose the fraud, in part because she included Cody Bell in the process. He urged her to proceed after she expressed her opinions to him. Gio is the largest sufferer in all of this, and regrettably, a lot of others in Port Charles are currently suffering. According to General Hospital previews, Cody will feel a great deal of guilt about what he did and didn't do when this secret was revealed, and Dante is going to get mad at Lulu for her part in it all. Dante won't be the only one, though, who is upset with Lulu. Maxie Jones will undoubtedly be repulsed by the behavior of her best friend and pseudo-brother, and Tracy Quartermaine, one of their strongest supporters, will be dissatisfied with both of them. Will these two be ostracized from the village, as these are only three of the slew characters on screen who are likely to be upset? Will the relationship between Molly Lansing Davis and Cody, which appears to be going well, end abruptly after she learns of his actions? The slow-burning romance between Lulu and Dante will undoubtedly end badly. Carly, Laura Collins, and Lucky Spencer will undoubtedly not abandon Lulu, but since each of them is preoccupied with their own crisis, and since she was warned, none of them will be able to support her through this one. Would the Quartermaine stables fire Cody? The family may be QS as Gio and Brooke Lynn are, and Lulu won't be allowed in the estate, at least temporarily, until things settle down. Given how long they have been friends, it is unfortunate that Brooke Lynn will not want to interact with Cody. Could being the odd ones in town help Cody and Lulu connect? They might not be completely outcasts, but their usual group of friends will avoid them. They might become closer since they are the only two individuals who can relate to their situation. Could they, however, err on the side of romance or even go too far if feelings are strong? Anything is conceivable since, according to General Hospital spoilers, the dynamics of Port Charles have formally altered since the 2025 Nurses' Ball, and all of the tumultuous incidents that followed. Portia pleaded with Curtis on the terrace of the Metro Court Garden not to leave in a rage. Consider the lovely family we have created together. Honey, please. Keep our marriage intact. Portia pleaded. Don't destroy everything we've created because I made a mistake. At least he didn't endanger Trina and their family, but Curtis said he has been the only one thinking about them. What we created was stolen by you and you destroyed it. You lied because you didn't trust me enough to be honest with me. You followed Drew's instructions and exposed our entire family to him. Not just to yourself, Curtis remarked. Curtis said he wanted to present a united front to Drew. Therefore he wasn't going to break up with her just yet. To keep Drew from pursuing Portia and Trina, he was prepared to put up a public front, but he insisted that it was all a lie. Let's just get through tonight, stated Curtis. Later, as Curtis was bringing his wife a drink, Nina discovered Portia by herself. When Nina informed Portia that Curtis was beginning to suspect her, Portia informed her that Curtis was aware that Drew was using blackmail against her. Nina and Carly bumped into each other in the ladies' room, just like their kids had done before them. Carly was reassured by Nina that she wouldn't be attending round 2. You accelerated the court date, and I sincerely hoped our détente would have succeeded. Just keep this in mind. You're responsible for whatever comes next, Carly said. When Nina informed Carly that she would testify that Michael had abandoned his own children, Carly became infuriated. So you're just going to perjure yourself because nothing could be further from the truth, Carly replied. It was all about perspective, Nina said. He didn't even care enough about his children to let Willow talk to him about them, Nina said. Nina further threatened to ensure that the court was aware that the mother was the sole parent who had provided for the children's needs. At the ball, Jocelyn saw Vaughn in between musical performances and struck up a conversation with him until Carly came up to them and inquired about Joss's new buddy. Vaughn informed Carly that Joss and he were PCU classmates. Carly sought information when Vaughn went to get a drink. He's adorable. What's up with that guy? She inquired. It had certainly paid off, and Ned thanked Sonny at the ballroom lobby bar for funding Joe's music studies. What we witnessed tonight on stage. He was outstanding, Ned said. He's a wonderful child. I'm glad to assist, Sonny remarked. When Ned saw Willow and Drew, he turned to go. You're a bitch, son, Ned remarked. Don't think for a moment that I'm going to let you get away with setting up my mother. Ned didn't believe Drew when he pretended to be stupid. My mother wouldn't be careless enough to leave traces of a crime in her own car, as we both know. You're written all over this, he continued. Then Ned looked at Willow, wondering if she had suddenly discovered her brain. Drew is an unworthy jerk, Willow. We all tried not to assume anything about you. We thought Drew was manipulating you, and you are just as much of a victim as Michael, Ned remarked. Willow was not interested in hearing it. You can finally let go of that absurd notion. Neither Michael nor I are victims. When you refuse to even attempt to resolve an issue, you cannot be a victim, she stated. Willow described how Michael wouldn't even let her see her after she traveled all the way to Germany. Olivia's Brooklyn-style tirade was directed at Drew next. She advised Willow, don't expect any sympathy when this whole thing blows up in your face, and Willow groaned and rolled her eyes. Throughout the entire conversation, Sonny could be seen nodding and listening in the background. Throughout the ballroom, Drew maintained his belief that his scheme against Tracy was successful, and that Willow would be granted custody of her children. Nina came over to them and assured them that she would now fully support Willow and Drew. Backstage in the dressing room, Lois said nothing while Lulu swore. You're not surprised by this. Gio is your grandchild, as you are aware, she remarked smugly. You've been hiding that from him all your life. I have no idea where you obtained your information, but I am aware of whatever you may be suspecting, Lois remarked. It is completely none of your business. Lois, we have moved past mistrust. I am fully aware of it. I can prove that Gio is the son of Brooklyn and Dante, Lulu said. Lulu told Lois what she knew about Joe's mother and Brooklyn's pregnancy. Gio was born not in Los Angeles on June 4th as he believed, but in San Francisco on May 15th as baby boy Chirulo, said Lulu. Lucy presented the next act as Lois and Lulu quarreled backstage. The Look of Love, featuring Chase on lead vocals, was performed by Dante, Chase, Isaiah, and Cody. When Lucy discovered Chase and Brooke Lynn making out backstage after the show, she forced them to leave. Then Gio showed up, searching for Lois. Gio headed toward the dressing room, where Lucy claimed to have last seen her. At last, Lois went off in the changing room. "Why are you scurrying around trying to learn more about a topic that is completely unrelated to you, and about which you know nothing?" Lois remarked. "You are interfering with people's lives." "No, Lois, you are interfering with people's lives. Throughout Joe's life, you have been keeping him concealed in plain sight while lying to him for decades. Dante too? Because you and Brooke Lynn have been lying. He's had a son out there all this time about whom he knows nothing," Lulu said. "Brooke Lynn is unaware of Gio. You can't tell her otherwise," a distraught Lois yelled. "Because she might not even know that her son was on the opposite side of the globe. My mom and I were unable to let Gio leave. As her mother, I made the greatest choice I could at the moment by deciding to keep him near and hide the truth from Brooke Lynn." Lulu simply continued. "Joe's entire existence is a lie. He doesn't know his true origins. He is not the son of Camilla and Francis Palmieri. He belongs to Brooke Lynn and Dante. The only thing left to wonder is, who will be the one to tell him the truth?" Unaware that Gio was outside the door and had heard everything, Lulu inquired angrily. Lucy walked the stage and introduced the next performer, former child star and musical artist YD, while mayhem ensued backstage. Lois and Lulu were still fighting in the changing room. "Think about what you're doing and how many lives you're gonna destroy," Lois begged. Lulu was unconcerned. "You're doing something incorrectly. The lies are over. There have been enough of them." Before hurriedly leaving the room, Lulu said, "You have to tell Dante and Gio the truth tonight, or I'll tell them tomorrow." Gio was supposed to join Anna and Chase while they danced the tango, so Emma, Chase, and Anna wondered where he was. At last, Emma discovered a distressed Gio sitting by himself in the Metro Court Gardens. Emma reminded Gio that he needed to play the violin for Anna and Chase, even though she could feel something wasn't right. "Start playing. I have to play for them. I must play, because my mother gave me that as a gift." He looked into Emma's eyes and added, "I play the violin," with a note of sadness in his voice. "I learned everything from my mother. All I have left of her is that." Emma assured Gio that if he didn't feel like playing, he didn't have to. "Yes, I do," he said. "The show must continue," and then he left to play. When Gio showed up, Lucy felt relieved. As he entered the stage without a word, she gave him his instrument. Cody was informed by Lulu at the ballroom that she had just addressed Lois, and that Lois had validated her entire Gio idea. Soon after, Dante came up, and they struck up a conversation. Lois pulled Brooke Lynn aside as soon as she saw them. "We need to get out of here right now, okay?" Astonished, Lois told Brooke Lynn. Brooke Lynn declined. "Gio is about to play violin while my husband dances the tango," she stated. Brooke Lynn was determined not to let this opportunity pass. Sunny showed in and asked Lois what was happening after Brooke Lynn left. She confessed, "Sunny, I'm in terrible trouble." Gio was about to perform, but Sunny reassured her that they would correct it later. Gio started playing but stopped when he eventually returned to the stage. He announced to the crowd that he was going to try something new. His words were composed before he broke down. "I am going to dedicate this performance to my parents, Brooke Lynn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri," he stated. "I was rejected by two persons. I was not claimed by anyone. And who have been deceiving me all my life," he exclaimed, before destroying his violin and fleeing the ballroom. As Willow stood at the precipice of a life-altering decision, she realized that love was not just about passion or comfort. It was about choosing each other, again and again, even when the path was uncertain. Michael's reappearance had not erased their problems, but it had given them a chance to rebuild, to forge a stronger foundation than before. And as for Drew, he remained a cherished friend, a reminder that sometimes, love means letting go. In the end, Willow's heart led her back to Michael. Not out of obligation, but because despite everything, he was still the one who felt like home. Their journey was far from over, and new challenges would undoubtedly arise. But for the first time in a long while, they faced the future together, united by a love that had been tested and tempered by time. And as for Drew, his role in Willow's life had been pivotal, a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. According to General Hospital's spoilers for Tuesday, May 27th, fans should be aware of a preemption notification. On Monday, May 26th, the ABC soap opera is broadcasting an encore episode from November 2024 due to the Memorial holiday. After discussing the legalities, it's time to discuss what spectators can anticipate from the show on Tuesday, May 27th. It appears that several characters will have to cope with the fallout from two significant revelations made at the 2025 Nurses' Ball: Michael Corinthos' homecoming and the truth regarding Gio Palmieri's ancestry. First things first. According to GH spoilers, Lois Cerullo will need to explain herself, while Brooke Lynn Quartermaine Chase and Dante Falconeri will also have emotional difficulties. Speaking of, there is a clip in the Tuesday program preview video of a tearful Brooke Lynn yelling at her mother and declaring that what Lois done was unacceptable. Words alone won't be enough to mend the enormous rift between this once tense mother and daughter pair. Gio will also be reeling in the interim. In a scene from the JH preview, Gio tells Emma Scorpio Drake not to stop him. She responds that she doesn't want to, and that she only wants to accompany him. Now that his whole life has been upended, will Gio let Emma in or will he erect a wall? In other Gio-related news, it appears like Cody Bell may come to regret pushing Lulu Spencer to investigate the case of Dante and Brooke Lynn's long-lost kid. In the May 27th preview, he is seen expressing uncertainty to Lulu about their decision. "Cody, that's too little too late." In another scene, Tracy Quartermaine is shown saying, "Don't take another step," with a very serious expression. She might be speaking to Gio, and if she has discovered that he is her grandchild, she will want to speak with him. However, if this is Drew Quartermaine, he should be on guard. Fans were blown away when Michael interrupted the Nurses' Ball after the last act and was reunited with Wiley Corinthos, despite the fact that they knew it was coming. To the surprise of everyone around him, Wiley ran into his father's arms and exclaimed, "We're going home," before leaving the ball. In the GH teaser for Tuesday's show, Jason Morgan stops Willow Tate Corinthos and Drew as they try to follow Michael in a panic. Jason coldly states, "Following them right now would be a bad idea," in typical Stone Cold fashion. In the meantime, Nina Reeves will turn to Sonny Corinthos for assistance, and in the GH teaser for the May 27th episode, she implores her ex-husband to convince Michael that a compromise is necessary. In other developments, Sasha Corbin's nervousness will be reduced. Will fans witness her and her baby daddy Michael reunite? Finally, during a segment on Tuesday's episode, Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson will become a little heated and intense, but Kai will question whether Trina is cool with it. What will she say? As many characters adjust to the new dynamics in the little town, now that everyone knows Michael's back and that Gio Palmieri is actually a Quartermaine and Corinthos, General Hospital spoilers suggest that things are going to get crazy in Port Charles. The most recent General Hospital spoilers for Monday, May 26th through Friday, May 30th are available on soaps.com. In addition to Lucky and Christina meeting with Alexis, Michael reestablishes his relationship with his family, Dante and Brooke Lynn contact Gio, and Nina seeks assistance from Sonny. There will be more turmoil in Port Charles after that. General Hospital spoilers for the week of May 26. Spoilers for Monday, May 26th on General Hospital. The network will rerun the November 26, 2024 episode where Lulu returned to Port Charles because of the Memorial Day holiday. Cody and Lulu Geach. Check out these stunning before and after pictures of some of your favorite Melrose Place cast members 26 years after the show's last episode aired. Spoilers for Tuesday, May 27th on General Hospital. Brooke Lynn and Dante are dealing with a lot of mixed emotions as a result of Joe's huge disclosure. Lois, who has a lot of explaining to do, is in the center of the developing storm. Nina is hoping that Sonny will support her now that Michael is back in town. And despite Sasha's tense anxiety, someone is able to calm her. As Cody sees the consequences of Lulu's inquiry upend the lives of those he cares about, he can't help but feel sorrow. Spoilers for Wednesday, May 28th, on General Hospital. When Michael returns to Port Charles, his family is there to greet him. When Dante and Brooke Lynn reach out to the son they didn't know had been living right in their midst, would Gio be receptive? Chase needs to talk about something. Maxie is taken under Nina's wing. Spoilers for Thursday, May 29 th's General Hospital. As Dante confronts her about everything that has transpired and her part in it, Lulu might want to prepare herself. Reunited, Michael and Jason catch up on one another's recent activities. It's time to take Trina and Kai's developing romance to the next level. For Cody, who still feels bad about his role in Lulu's probe, Sasha has some advice. Brooke Lynn has a heart-to-heart with her father, Ned. Friday, May 30th, General Hospital spoilers. Even though neither attended the nurses' ball, Liz and Laura will still have a lot to discuss when they next meet. What will Sasha think of the request that her real baby daddy, Michael, is going to make of her? Curtis is undoubtedly apprehensive, particularly now that he has been made aware of Portia. When Alexis meets with Christina and Lucky, who are aware of all she has been attempting to conceal, things could become awkward. What a roller coaster the Nurses' Ball 2025 on General Hospital was. I stated in my column last week that the concert had to deliver, and boy did it. At least in terms of the drama. Let's go over all of this week's events, including those performances. Of all the performances, Joe's rendition of the actor's own song Glow was without a question the best. He has incredible talent, as the characters stated. Keep in mind that they were referring to Giovanni Mazza as well as the persona. I was certain that Joe's secret would be revealed on a hot mic while he was performing on stage in last week's column and previous ones. The way it transpired, though, with Gio hearing Lulu and Lois quarreling and coming clean himself, was fantastic. Joe's agony was heartbreaking as he revealed his parents to the public and believed that Dante and Brooke Lynn had never desired him. Join the numerous daytime Emmy-winning performances that have sprung from this plotline with this one. The tension was maintained by having Gio, Brooke Lynn, and Lois disappear following Joe's disclosure in Friday's episode as Sunny, Ned, Olivia, and Dante attempted to process what had just transpired. Yes, we needed answers, but the realism was enhanced by the fact that they weren't given right away. It was a lovely little scene when Carly warned Lulu that the train she started was heading down the tracks to flatten her, and stopped her from fleeing after Dante and the others. Lucy's insistence that the performance must continue was one thing that annoyed me. After Gio broke his violin on stage, the crowd gradually made their way back to their seats, and everyone continued to see Joss and Trina perform. What? We should be grateful that Lucy wasn't seen in her underpants once more. I hope everyone reserves enough venom for Lulu once they're done shredding Lois to pieces, because next week's fallout is going to be epic. In addition to having his entire world upended by the revelation of his biological parents, poor Gio believes they have been deceiving him all of his life and never wanted him. It will be interesting to observe which family members Gio goes to and who he rejects, because this won't be a simple, quick cure. Daddy, welcome home. It was completely nonsensical for Drew and Nina to present the Nurses' Ball red carpet. I genuinely believe that the only reason Drew was on the carpet was so someone could shoot him before the ball ended, given the shots he was shooting at the guests and the way they were shooting back at him. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. By the end, though, a lot of viewers were happy that Willow and Drew had been put in their proper roles. Additionally, some of my favorite jabs at Congressman Not Quartermain were when Cody called Drew trash with abs, and Joss read him for filth on camera. I wasn't prepared for Drew to fabricate evidence that Tracy had given him ketamine, and then have her arrested on the red carpet. Both astonishment and disappointment were experienced in equal measure. How can Drew deny us the opportunity to see Tracy's performance at the ball? Given that he was speaking all the time, Drew and Willow's strategy of compromising with Carly in order to avoid a custody hearing was pitiful. It was eerie and cultish when Carly asked Willow if she could talk, and Drew's declaration that they are one only served to highlight how far she has fallen, as she now allows Drew to speak for her. It was obvious that the new Michael was on the way when we witnessed a man taking a private aircraft home and seeing Willow swoon over Drew on the red carpet. Nevertheless, it didn't lessen the surprise or emotion at the conclusion of the week when Wiley rushed into his father's arms, and Michael made an appearance during the kids' number and the ball's last act. The expression, OSH*T. I can't wait to see how everything that has happened since he's been in Germany has impacted Michael. The expressions on Drew and Willow's faces at that precise time were everything, as was Michael telling his kid, "Let's go home." Even though I adore Nina, I'm rooting for Carly and Michael to have a crush on Willow and Drew this time. evaluation of the performances, and concluding remarks. As I mentioned before, Gio was the most impressive performer. Nevertheless, I will always have a particular place in my heart for Madonna's Holiday. So the nurse's opening number was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch Chase and the boys perform ABC's Look of Love, and it got me thinking about if this year's event would have an 80s theme. It was entertaining to watch Spinelli and the women perform. These boots were made for walking. But I can't help but wonder what may have happened if Tracy had been the vocalist. I might have been more thrilled with Whitey's performance if I had known who she was. It was good. Not that it wasn't. I simply have no idea who she is. I must take a seat. It's obvious that I'm experiencing a nostalgic moment at the moment. Although Trina and Joss gave a wonderful performance, it wasn't the best in the program, despite what Kai and her family claimed. It was really cute how the children ended with, "I'll be there." Although I didn't anticipate enjoying it, I did, especially since it made Michael's comeback and that thrilling Friday cliffhanger possible. Other thoughts. I was disappointed to see Nina and Carly's collaboration come to an end, but wow, they did it spectacularly. It was quite a fight. I'm so happy that Alexis finally admitted to Christina that she realized what she was doing, that this was essentially her worst mistake to date, and that she may get them all arrested for it. Hopefully, Christina will stop talking and follow Alexis' instructions moving forward. Britt and Brad's previous binge-watching of the nurses' ball was nicely referenced by Elizabeth and Lucas's home viewing of the event. With the comments, Liz even became a touch sarcastic, making jokes about how out of tune the youngsters would be and wondering if Tracy had been tasered during her arrest. This year's ball was missed by Liz and Maxie, and I anticipate that next week, Maxie will have a lot to say to Brooke Lynn and Lulu. As Jason Morgan stepped forward, his massive bulk preventing Drew Kane and Willow Corinthos from moving forward anymore, the tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. His jaw was set in a hard line that allowed no room for debate, and his piercing blue eyes were like ice. But Drew wasn't one to give up quickly. He squared his shoulders and looked directly into Jason's eyes. Willow waited anxiously next to him, her hands clenched together as she looked between the two guys, her pained face showing how worried she was for Michael. Jason stated in a low but firm voice, "You must turn around. You're not concerned about this." Drew shook his head and scoffed. "It really doesn't. My family includes Michael as well. I won't just leave him if he's in difficulty." Willow put a soft hand on Drew's arm, perhaps asking him to remain composed, but her own anxiety was evident on her face. She whispered, "Jason, we just want to make sure Michael's okay. He has already experienced a great deal. If he's involved in something risky." Jason cut in with a tone that left no room for disagreement. "Then I'll handle it. It will only get worse if you two get involved." The sound of quick footsteps reverberated behind them before Drew could shoot back. With her eyes burning and her face flushed with rage, Brooke Lynn Quartermain burst into view. "Oh, that's quite wealthy," she yelled, her tone brimming with irony. "Who gets to care about whom is a decision made by Jason Morgan, the great guardian. Here, you don't get to make the decisions." Her shout hardly made Jason cringe, but Willow and Drew looked at each other uneasily. Never one to hold back, Brooke Lynn's temper was at its highest right now. Willow started to say, "Brooke Lynn," but the fiery blonde interrupted. "No, Willow, this is over." Frustrated, Brooke Lynn raised her hands. "I have every right to be here if Michael is in trouble since he is my cousin. And you," she redirected her rage toward Jason, "you have no right to decide who should watch out for him. Not after everything." Jason's face grew serious. "You have no idea what you're getting yourself into." Drew crossed his arms and said, "Then educate us. Because all we see at the moment is your attempt to exclude us. What do you conceal?" There was a tight stillness between them. Drew's resolve to keep Michael safe was just as steadfast as Jason's devotion to Sonny and the Corinthos family. Being in the center, Willow sensed that things were getting out of hand. With a strained voice she stated, "This isn't helping Michael. Nothing will be resolved by us arguing with one another." Brooke Lynn laughed bitterly. "Oh, but isn't that what we do best?" She gave Jason another frown. "Fight each other instead of the real problem. You would allow us to assist Michael if you truly cared about him." Jason was becoming impatient. "You don't know what you're up against. It's not just a game. When people are unaware of the stakes, they are wounded.